Hey, good morning, y'all. I wanted to share something I thought was really neat. Something that came to my mind as I was reading the Bible. Just first off, I'm not a theologian. I don't have a degree from a seminary. And everything I share is just kind of what comes to my mind and my heart. And I want to share it with other people because I hope to inspire and help at least one person. So I just finished up the book of Proverbs, and I camped out there for a while because I long to be wise. And I know that true wisdom comes from the Bible. That's my opinion. So I finished that up. I moved on to Ecclesiastes. And before I start reading in the book of Ecclesiastes or any other book, my Bible is a Chuck Swindoll study Bible, and he's got some commentary at the very beginning, and an explanation of the Bible or the book, and this kind of helps give you an intro as to why it was written, who's the audience, what's the big deal, blah blah blah. So I was reading this morning his version of what's the big idea, and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was awesome. So here's what Chuck says. Ecclesiastes, like much of life, is a journey from one point to another. Solomon articulates his starting point early in the book. So Solomon obviously was the guy that wrote Ecclesiastes. And we know that he is and was the wisest and wealthiest man in existence. So everything is meaningless, complete meaningless. That's what he says. That's what Solomon says in verse 2 of chapter 1. And I was wondering how many of us felt that way. How many of us felt like here, especially here lately, that our life is meaningless. Well, he goes on to say, these words indicate the utter futility of life as Solomon saw it. Nothing could alleviate Solomon's sense of feeling lost in the world because he had already tried a number of standard remedies like pleasure, work, and intellect. Pursuing life without pursuing God is meaningless. And I highlighted that. I thought, man, that's killer right there. How many of us have drifted away from God and your life feels meaningless? I am super guilty of that. And that just kind of struck a chord with me, and I hope it strikes a chord with you. If you have moved away from God and you are feeling that life is meaningless, you might want to check that and start moving towards Him. Because God says if you pursue Him, and He will pursue you. And I think that is a wonderful thing, that He never gives up on us. So I want to keep reading a little bit, make this video short as possible. However, even in the writer's desperate search for meaning and significance in life, God remains present. So even when we are not doing what we're supposed to, turning our back on the Lord, just kind of doing life as we see fit, He never turns His back on us. And I think that's super awesome and very comforting. So for instance, we read Solomon's affirmations that God provides food, drink, and work. That's Ecclesiastes 2:24. That both the sinner and the righteous person live in God's sight, Ecclesiastes 2:26. That God's deeds are final, Ecclesiastes 3:14, and that God empowers people to enjoy His provision, Ecclesiastes 5:19. Ultimately, the great truth of Ecclesiastes lies in the acknowledgement of God's ever-present hand in our lives. Sweet. Even when injustice and uncertainty threaten to overwhelm us. How many of y'all know that is true right now? Injustice and uncertainty threaten to overwhelm us. Stop there for just a second. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. We can trust God and follow after Him. Ecclesiastes 12:13-14. Anyways, I just thought that was really cool and inspirational, and it just really provoked a lot of thought in my mind. I know this video is kind of run long. Hopefully I didn't lose all of you. But just think about that. God is with you always. And ultimately, he empowers people to enjoy his provision. I thought that was really, really sweet. Anyways, I hope this inspires you, and see you later.